So, in a simple word, when we say self-reflection, it means reflecting your past, whatever you have done in the past, and then look into that how you can be a better person, how you can improve yourself, and how what are the things you have done which you would like to continue, what are the things which you see that you can improve upon. So, reflecting uh, all your past occurrences or all your past activities.
Almost every one of us are right about what self-reflection is. My favorite one is, as I think Rajiv mentioned, looking into the mirror. But it's more than that. If I go and look myself into the mirror and I start criticizing myself, oh my God, I have been working from home and I gained weight and this is so pathetic. I don't look good and blah, blah, blah. It's not self-reflection. Self-reflection is more than this. Um, it shouldn't be you become so hard on yourself. It should not be looking into yourself and thinking and beating yourself up, why I keep doing the same thing again and again, why I am not um, becoming better, or I have been trying to do this for so long, it's not happening. And all these things happen because we are too busy in our lives. Everyone knows that we start work in the morning, we have back-to-back meetings, and we go from one meeting to another to another. We keep on working the whole day, and then the family life. There is no space in between that we can just stop and think what is happening. And did I behave the way I wanted to behave today? Or did I coach my client as I wanted to do? Or is there anything else that I wanted to do but I couldn't do? So we need a space. So self-reflection requires some concentration, peace of mind, where you can just sit down and look into what has happened and how I can improve further, without coming to this realization of where you want to improve and how you are going to improve. Looking into the mirror won't help. Okay. So I will share my presentation because I have a few exercises which I learned in last few years since I started learning about the coaching, and has helped me a lot. And these are all the exercises most of the coaches use, even the sport coaches, teachers in the school, or leaders to become better. They all use some one way of or other, some kind of exercises. Yeah. So we talked about self-reflection, why this is important to do self-reflection for a coach. We always heard that, okay, if you want to become a better coach, practice doing coaching. The more you practice, the better you become. I don't understand why do we have to do the self-reflection. What do you think?
You have to know where you are in order to know where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And self-assess first.
I was listening to a sports coach the other day on YouTube, and he mentioned that sports coaches, they do self-reflection a lot. They keep watching how they were coaching their teams and how their teams performed over the period of time, and they keep on changing their coaching methods. And he also mentioned that Definitely we need to practice coaching because that's how we can become better. But he did some maths which was really interesting. He said that if you are practicing say 500 hours without self-reflection, it will be equal to your 50 hours with self-reflection, because self-reflection will accelerate your process of growth. So don't ask me the maths behind it. I don't know from where it came, but it was quite interesting. And I realized by myself when I started my coaching journey and started doing a lot of peer coaching with other people. In the beginning, I was doing peer coaching like 3 to 4 times in a week. And at a point, I felt like I was working like a machine, uh, doing coaching. And I saw the improvement, but not that big. And when I started working with a mentor, I'm like, oh, this is becoming better because I could reflect back. But I wanted something more than this. I wanted, can I work even without the mentor? I'm not saying you don't need a mentor. Mentors are always good, but you can actually learn more if you add the self-reflection in the process of growth. Please, anytime if you have any questions, raise your hand or unmute yourself to ask question or write on the chat. So as I said that if you want to grow as a coach, or if you want to understand your strengths or weaknesses, if you want to discover the patterns of your behavior that repeatedly interfere during the coaching conversations, then you can do the self-reflection. So when I started doing the self-reflection, I figured one thing is that I myself is not really good in expressing emotions. So when I was doing coaching my clients, and if they share their emotions like sad expressions or any problem in their life, I was feeling touched, and it was kind of a disturbing to me. Like I don't know like how to move forward when someone becomes emotional during the coaching session. And I got this realization after doing the self-reflection that my own behavior, my own personality was hindering me in servicing my clients in a good way. So I'm not saying that you have to become the best coach. It's just that even in the beginning, if you have this realization about your own influences, your environment, your personality, or the patterns which come into picture while you are doing coaching, it will help you to detach yourself and focus on your coachee. Okay. A little bit of philosophy. So I'm not a philosopher. I don't read many philosophy books, but I read about Baltasar Gracian, and he is a Spanish philosopher, and he talked about the growth. And he said that people grow by doing 3 kind of activities: self-reflection, imitation, and by experience. And we always try to learn from our experience. That's why people work in different organizations, coach different kind of clients, or explore the world. We try to have different experiences so that we can learn and grow. We also try to do imitation. If you have heard about this quote, fake it till you make it, because you want to become habitual of performing in a certain way. It also helps. But Baltasar mentioned that self-reflection is the most powerful way of the self-growth. It accelerates everything because you get the self-realization. And as I mentioned, self-reflection is more than looking into a mirror. It's a self-examination plus plus, and we will look into what is this plus plus is. There are some principles before you move into doing some exercises for the self-reflection. I want to share to keep in mind these 3 principles. You should be fair to yourself. What I mean by this, if I look into the mirror and if I see that, hey, it looks like I'm becoming chubby, and at the same time, I said, oh, it happens. I'm at home and that's fine. And we just ignore it or try to defend ourselves. In the similar way, when you are doing coaching and you try to keep making excuses, oh, I'm new into coaching and it's okay, and I will learn, or I will do 10 different books. I will note down all the powerful questions, and don't make excuses. Just to be fair with yourself and be accurate about the facts. Whether you are ready to make any changes or not, that's a different story. But at least in the beginning, you should be fair and accurate about the facts. And be honest to yourself. Yeah, I have any question?
Basically, don't cheat yourself.
Yeah, don't cheat to yourself. Thank you so much. You are right. Don't cheat to yourself. And it's very easy in self-reflection because you are doing this with yourself. There is no one here to challenge you. So, but at the same time, it's easier for people who are not comfortable to be very open with others. At least you can share the truth to yourself. It's not going in the social media. Okay, so I have a small video to show before I move to the exercise. So if any one of you is passionate about or like watching cartoon in animation, this is from Despicable Me, and my favorite character, Gru. He did some kind of a self-reflection and shared his journal to the 3 beautiful kids. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, girls, time for bed.
Oh, come on, we want a story. 3 sleepy kittens.
Oh no, sorry, that book was accidentally destroyed maliciously. Tonight, we are going to read a new book. This one is called One Big Unicorn. By who wrote this? Oh, me! I wrote it. Oh, look, it's a puppet book. Here, watch this. That's too hard.
This is going to be the best book ever.
Not to pat myself on the back, but yes, it probably will be. Here we go. One big unicorn, strong and free, thought he was happy as he could be. Then 3 little kittens came around and turned his whole life upside down.
Hey, that one looks like me.
No, what are you talking about? These are kittens. Any relation to persons living or dead is completely coincidental. They made him laugh. Oh, they made him cry. Oh. He never should have said goodbye. And now he knows he could never part from those 3 little kittens that changed his heart. The end. Okay, all right. Good night. Book was accident.
Okay, though he said good night, please don't sleep. So what did you learn from this? What did he do actually in this short clip? Anyone? Any clue? Have you watched this movie?
He reacted immediately to against the little girl. I did not watch the movie.
No worries, you can watch on Sunday.
He shut down that little girl's self-reflection of, you know, that kitten looks like me.
So he was a villain in the movie, and his behavior was totally different. He adopted these three little kids for his wrong intuitions, but then during the process, when he started spending more time with three little kids, his heart melted and he got attached to these kids, and that's why. And then he wrote this and shared with these three cute children, and he also shared that he shouldn't have said goodbye during the journey. So it was kind of a small clip which shows his own story about what happened, and he was honest about what happened. Means he also said that he shouldn't have said goodbye. Just an example. And there is a technique which is related to journaling. So journaling is, some people have this habit, at the end of the day, they just write down about key events, what has happened. Okay. And they also write about how they felt, or how they can avoid this kind of situation. But most of the time it's mostly about the facts, and conclude the learning out of it. So so it's called reflective journal, and it's your personal journal. You can write anything about it. If any key event happened, or you coach someone, and you think that, oh, this really intrigued me, or I could have asked the question in a different way, or I got distracted, I would keep in mind not to get distracted, or my WhatsApp notification popped in while doing the coaching, I got distracted. Maybe next time I will close all my applications before I start my virtual coaching session. It could be anything. So you write down, you describe what did you do without judgment. And then you move to the next stage, which is called informing. Means what does this mean to you? Okay, it could mean a different thing to different people. In some situations, someone can say that, okay, it's okay, that's normal. The other person could say that, no, that's not normal to me. I want to improve this situation. So you just ask this question to yourself, what does this mean? Then you go into the confronting stage, and you ask yourself, how did I come to be this way? Means examine that you behaved in this way because of the environment, because of the cultural aspect, because of your social connections, or because of your personality. It could be anything. Okay. So once you reach to that critical thinking stage of finding out how did you come to be this way, only then you can reconstruct the behavior. Only then you can ask yourself, how could I do it differently the next time? Because not having this realization or awareness of the origin or the cause of the behavior, you cannot reconstruct it. You cannot reprogram your mind. Otherwise, you will keep beating yourself up to become better, and and it becomes too hard, and you won't see the change. Yeah. So this is a very simple technique or exercise which you can use. There are only four questions. Just keep the principles in mind. Talk about the fact, don't cheat yourself. I'm going to change my slide. I will keep only don't you cheat yourself. I like it better. Any question about reflective journal? No? Okay, I will show two more. So this is one of my favorite as well. Have any one of you read this book, The Mindful Coach from Doug Silsby? If you haven't, I strongly recommend you. Oh, you have this. That's nice.
I do. It's a great book. Thank you.
I love all the exercises in this book, and I read this book more than 2 times. Means I cannot read it in one go. It takes too much time to go with the flow of this book. And I learned this technique from that book, and it's also in Doug Silsby's website. If you go there, you will find it. And this is a very simple one. So what you need to do, it's about doing the self-reflection of how much you were questioning, means you ask questions, or how much you were in the telling mode during the coaching conversation. So what you need to do, just take a simple sheet of paper or a sticky note, and you draw 2 circles. Okay, and the first circle you can draw or write questioning, and the second one you can draw or write telling. Okay, and you just take a small coin or any object that works for you. You can do it during the session as well as after the coaching session. So I would recommend do it after the coaching session, because if you try to do it during the coaching session, it might distract you a little bit and you won't be fully present with your client. But if you can manage, please do it. As per the book, he recommended to do it during the coaching session. I tried it. It didn't work so well for me. So what I did was I played the recording and then did this exercise when I was doing the reflection. It's up to you. So what you need to do is that during the conversation, during the coaching session, you are in the flow of having conversation with your client. And as soon as you ask a question, you take this coin and put it in the circle which shows questioning. Okay. And then your client would share something, and then you, in the conversation, you would say something, and then you would think about whether you asked a question or you went into the telling mode. If you went into the telling mode, take this coin and put it into the telling circle, and you keep on doing it. Okay. At the end, you would realize you don't need to do the maths. You don't need to write how many times you were questioning, how many times you were telling. But instead, what you can do is from your gut feel, you would get to know whether you were more in the telling mode or more in the telling or questioning mode. Yeah. So if suppose during entire session, you were in the questioning, and only once or twice you have to move this coin into the another circle, you will know, okay, this time I was more into the questioning mode. Yeah. If you're doing a lot of back and forth, it would tell you, oh, the pattern was like I was so much back and forth between questioning and telling. So this is a very simple exercise. Any
Sadhya, I have
questions?
one question. So this activity we have to do when we are coaching, or the coachee has to do?
No, you will do. So this is a
Okay.
self-reflection
So
for
this
you
is
as a
just to,
coach.
okay, just to know how we are behaving when we are coaching.
Yes,
Okay, got it.
yes. This is so all these exercises for you when you are working as a coach for your own self-reflection. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And once you do this exercise, you can ask few questions to yourself. What did you notice about which was easier for you? Was questioning easier for you or telling easier for you? Okay. And then you can ask, how did you self-manage your choice of questioning or telling in order to serve the client? Means what triggered? Why did you ask the question, or why did you tell something to the client? Did it serve the purpose of the client, or it was just happened because of your own intuition or because of your own behavior? Okay. The next one is, when you left questioning to move into telling, where did you the impulse arise from? It's the similar which I explained, is that you have to find the trigger. And what did you notice about your tendencies as you coach? What is your tendency? Are you more in the questioning form or are you more in the telling form? Okay. So when you ask these, after doing this exercise, when you try to find the answers of these questions, you will learn a lot about yourself as a coach. And then you can try to find out some action items which will help you to become a better coach. Okay. So let me give you an example. I was working with another peer coach, and she is a really good teacher. She came from a teaching background, and she coached well. I'm not saying she is not a good coach. She is really good because she is good in making the client feeling light, making the client feeling motivated and uplifted after the coaching conversation. But when she did this exercise on her coaching style, she found that she was more into the telling form. And you may think it's obvious, because being a teacher, it becomes kind of a habit to tell instead of asking a lot of questions. And she realized that because of her previous profession, she was more into the telling form, and she took conscious actions to move from telling to questioning mode. Okay. So that was her self-reflection. It seems easy, but when we keep on doing coaching after coaching, it becomes hard to understand where we are going. Is it going well or not? Because sometimes client won't tell you. Even if you ask for the feedback, client won't tell you, hey, you were telling me a lot of things, or instead of asking questions. Yeah. Any question? Okay, so I will move to the last exercise, which we will do it together. So you should have your notebook, pen, or electronic form of note taking, whatever you prefer. Okay. So this technique called empathy map, some of you might have learned about it. This is a technique which is very popular one in the human-centered design and or design thinking. They use it to understand the customer's behavior. When we start developing a new product and do the user research, we can use the empathy map to understand the user behavior, how do they perform, how do they interact with different applications, what do they think about it, and based on our users' experience, we can come up with few features that will serve them. Okay, so that's the original empathy map. But being an agile coach, I was using this technique for the new product development. I was helping my clients to use it. And when I started learning about the self-reflection and I started doing some of the exercises, I felt like it's very similar. It has all the things or triggers which will help me to self-reflect. And it was easier for me to use this technique compared to others. So, so I use this for self-reflection because I thought that if this exercise can help me to understand my customers as human being, I'm also a human being, so it would help me to understand myself as well. So I use this exercise. How does it work? It has 4 quadrants: say, think, do, and feel. So what you need to do is in your paper, you just create 4 quadrants and write say, think, do, and feel. You have to think about an event. Any event, it could be a very simple conversation with your child or with your spouse or your client, or while you are walking and you talk to a neighbor. It could be anything. Just for the simplicity, you can think of any event. If you want to become a better coach and you want to self-reflect on your coaching style, you can think of any coaching conversation. Okay. Then what happens? You go one by one, keeping that one event in mind. You would ask yourself, what did I say during that conversation? Okay. And then you move to the next quadrant of think. What did you think in that moment? And try to think a little bit deeper and scan your mind, because sometimes the first thought comes to your mind. There are a lot of thoughts which are underneath them. So you may ask that what were the thoughts that emerged? What were the motivation, goals, or biases or desires that arose in that moment or might have impacted your actions? And something about, say, what does it tell about your own beliefs, your beliefs as a coaching belief or your belief as a person? Okay. Then you move to the third quadrant, which is do. Okay. So do means, what did you do? Did you react back? Did you ask question, or did you try to defend yourself, or did you just shut down and didn't say anything, or did you try to avoid the situation? It could be anything, but whatever was your reaction. And be truthful about the fact, because you are doing the self-reflection about your own behavior. So nobody is going to read about it. It's yours. And the last quadrant is feel. Then here you would try to capture, how did you feel in that moment? What emotions did you notice? Did you feel happy, sad, angry, frustrated? Choose the word, whatever you feel is closer to your emotions at that moment. Yeah. So you fill in this like I did here. So this is an example. I was doing peer coaching with someone, and she talked about. So she was in the situation of changing the job. She left the previous job and was going to start a new job. And she was telling how she was feeling furious about taking up this new job because her previous experience in the job was not good. And she started telling me about her experience in the previous job. What did I do? I felt connected with her because I had the similar challenges in my previous job. So what did I say? I asked her, how did you deal with the situation? I asked this question when I was doing the self-reflection. I realized I asked this question not because to help her. I asked this question not because of my curiosity of helping the client to see what was there, what happened, or how she can learn from this situation. I asked this because I had my own agenda to understand, oh, I was in the similar situation. I want to know how other person dealt about this. So I brought my own agenda in the coaching conversation. And that's all what I thought about. I thought I was in the similar situation, and what's the way to deal this kind of dysfunction. And I asked her about all her past instead of helping her to move forward. And I felt sad. I literally felt sad about her, and it triggered all my own emotions about that previous job. And that was my self-reflection. And I realized that there are some kind of situations your client might be going through where you feel connected because it also happening in your own life, or it has happened in your own life. So in that kind of situation, I have to detach myself. I'm not saying just shut down. Understand your client, but don't get your own agenda or your own experiences come into the picture, because my life is different than my client's life, and clients come to improve their life. So I shouldn't let my own agenda come into the play. So I came up with some action items like, do not let my interest get into the way of coaching, and I should be more aware of my aversions and affections. So I gave the example of my own self-reflection. Any questions? Because I'm going to give you 10 minutes. We'll go step by step, and you can think of any event and we'll do the self-reflection. No? Okay, now it's your time. Take your notebook and pen, think about any event. And you don't have to explain, it will be confidential. We just talk about the learning. Okay, have you got your event, or are you still thinking? How many of you have noted down any event for the self-reflection today?
I did it.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so now you create this picture in your notepad You don't need to be so creative. Just come up with 4 quadrants. Okay. And I will give you, say, 5 minutes to fill out what did you say in that event which you captured in the first step. What did you think in that moment? What did you do? And how did you feel? Okay. 2 more minutes. If you are done early, please let me know. Okay. Should I move to the next step? It's okay, whatever you have captured, because sometimes self-reflection needs more time. We are just trying to practice to use the exercise. So next one is you would try to analyze the map. So you can ask 1 or 2 of these questions, and you can keep it with you when you do the real self-reflection, sitting alone after your coaching conversation. So you can ask as many questions as you want. So you can ask yourself, what is the difference between your thinking and your action? And what made you behave differently than you thought? What's in it your belief system that impacted your thinking and action? And how did your feelings change after the event? So just for the sake of this exercise, maybe you can try 1 of these questions to think about what happened. Okay, so we are not going to do this step right now because this step is about creating the patterns by analyzing multiple empathy maps. So we are doing it for one event. When you repeat this exercise again and again after a few coaching conversations, you will see some patterns emerging. And these patterns you will find because of your personality or because of your own belief systems. You will find these kind of behaviors or patterns which you keep on repeating. Okay, so this is you will do at least after 2-3 empathy maps.
How do you arrive at this pattern?
So you do self-reflection for one event. Okay, and you come up with all these answers. So you will have some realization, why did it happen, where was the gap. Then you do the empathy mapping exercise for another event or another coaching conversation. So now you have 2 maps, right? Now from these 2 maps, or if you have more than this, you will try to find the pattern. Is there anything similar in your behavior in both the events? Okay. So when you have like 4 or 5, you will see that you keep on doing the similar kind of things in most of the coaching conversations, and you will see this pattern means this kind of behavior is repetitive for you.
Okay.
Yeah. And it will help you to find out that okay, this one I did it only once because I was distracted that day, and maybe next time I will take 5 minutes extra before the coaching conversation to settle down my mind. So it was a one-time thing. But there might be some patterns of like I shared, I'm not good with dealing with emotions, and it happens because of my own personality, and it was a pattern in my coaching conversations because it was not one time thing. Anytime emotions come into picture, I can't work well. So I have to find something which will help me in the future if similar kind of situation happens again. So that's how the patterns are different than the one time behavior.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you come up with action items. What you want to do about this? How would you deal with this if the similar trigger happened? Yeah. Do you have any question?
Can you go to the previous slide? So I was asking how that will be drawn in L shape, U shape, and
Oops, I'm sorry. Don't get
uh,
confused with this.
uh-huh.
This is just an image to show
Okay,
that there
okay.
are patterns.
Okay. I thought some technique might be there with
No.
you have to plot it. Okay, I got it. Yeah. That's what I was looking for this. So which parameter you are considering to draw these lines and all?
No.
Okay,
No
it's okay.
science. No science, no app.
It's okay. I got it.
Okay. And then the last step is you come up with the action items. What I suggest people to do is that once you come up with an action item, the first thing, don't come up with too many action items, because don't beat yourself up to improve so many things at the same time. Otherwise, you won't be able to improve anything. So come up with the thing and choose 1 or 2 items which you think you are ready to improve. And some behavioral changes take a lot of time. So prepare your mind that, okay, it will take some time. But you also create a timeline for yourself that, okay, I'm going to implement this action item, but I will reflect back in another month whether I am improving or not. And based on that, you either adjust your action item next time or you come up with a new action item. Okay. Few tips. And that's it. So I will stop sharing the presentation and will ask you How was your experience of doing the self-reflection?
It was good.
It's often hard being the judge and the jury. So it is not simple to go through, and I think personally I'm going to need more practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
It needs practice.
Powerful for sure.
For me, I think I have gone through the self-reflection. Aspect is now how I have to work on an actionable item. It's every time it's wrong, but it's important to put into an actionable item.
So I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you properly, but I understand you were saying that every time you have to go through with this, it's going to be hard, something like that. Would you please repeat?
Yeah, sure. What happened is self-reflection is very, you can say a very easy term that comes that at the end of the day you realize you've done this wrong and what you could have done it. But next time, it's very hard during coaching session that you keep those actionable item as in checklist. Consider it as to be a behavioral aspect. We have been triggered with certain behavioral pattern to follow, like you said, questioning and like asking or telling. Actually, as a coach, being a coach, being a practitioner, initially I do hear what the other aspect has to say. So that's the questioning part. But eventually, the habit is to tell forehand, which is wrong actually.
So I want to say, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so my actionable item is that I have to control that trigger that I get to take the initiative to tell something forehand.
Yeah.
I should take my own time first to listen what the other person is saying rather than giving or jumping to conclusion and start giving the feedback or something like that.
I would like to,
I'm trying to work on this aspect of me, and I'm hoping that I improve it over like down the line. Yeah. So the important trigger for me is right now that I don't know I don't know. I have identified the actionable items for myself. How gradually I work on them is a challenge right now.
I want to say two things actually. First, I would like to congratulate you that you are working on changing this behavior of controlling your instinct of telling upfront. And it's a hard one and it takes a lot of time, but just having this self-awareness and having this point in your mind that you want to control, it will change a lot. It changes the situation because every time you go into the telling mode, at least some pops up in your mind that, hey, I did it. Or next time I would like to control. And it happens to me all the time because when you keep on practicing coaching and keep on doing self-reflection and you become more and more aware about your own behaviors, when you are on the coaching conversation, you are present with the client, but there is a thread in your mind which is like reflecting what is happening inside my mind, what thoughts are coming up, and what I'm trying to control and what I'm trying to do. And it happens and it's normal. So thank you so much. Yeah.
If you like, I will surely use the technique that you said, the coin one, next time. I hope that benefits me going into iterative sessions, I would say.
Yeah.
I hope. Thanks.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Truly, I like that coin exercise, but how I can execute it, that I doubt, because definitely we can't do it at the time of coaching. As you said, it will be better if you reflect later on.
Mm.
That will help.
Yeah. So how I do it, if you are in the, so there is a caveat. If you are coaching a client, you want to keep everything confidential, you won't get the recording. So what you can do
That's
is
true.
that,
That's true.
yeah, what you can do is just that don't take too long for the self-reflection. Maybe on the similar day, take few minutes, and the conversation would be like in your memory, accessible memory, and then you can try. You will get something. You won't get, okay, did I do it 10 times or 5 times, but you will get an idea of whether you were more inclined towards questioning or telling. If you are in the peer coaching mode and you ask the permission to record, then it becomes very easy, because you can play the recording, and during listening to your recording again, you can do this exercise.
True.
Yeah. But as per the book, you can do it while doing the coaching.
Yeah.
But I
Otherwise,
tried, it
also we
didn't
can.
work.
I got an idea. I got an idea. Even we
Yeah.
can do it the same thing at the time of coaching itself. Instead of playing with the coin, we can make a star or a dot or somewhere. Then we can count it later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can try, and next time you try, please share with others.
All right. Any other questions for Savita?
Savita, will we have access to this presentation deck after the event?
I can share. Alex, is there a way to share the presentations to?
Yeah, if you email it to us, we will post it. We will be posting the recording. We will transcribe the recording, and if you send us the slide deck, we will also post the slide deck as well.
Okay, so I will share.
Awesome, thank you.
I guess this self-reflection ties in with supervision as well, doesn't it?
Yes. There are multiple ways of doing self-reflection. All the exercises which I shared, you can do it personally, or you can do it with your supervisor. And supervisor help you to self-reflect. And sometimes it becomes hard to do the self-reflection alone. So you can do it with your friend or your supervisor, your mentor, whatever suits you in different situation.
Okay, thanks.
Pete, I'm curious if you were in our last meetup where Shirley was talking about supervision.
I wasn't, but I did get an email with the notes from it.
Okay.
So this is the coaching circles. Is that right, Alex?
Right, and her meetup is posted on Tandem Coaching. So if you go to videos, you will see the recording from that.
Ah, right. Okay. I have signed up for them in future. I think they're about 1 a.m. my time, but I do plan on coming and seeing how they work out.
All right. All right. Anything else? Any other questions, comments, observations?
Okay, so if you have any questions later on, because I know that these kind of topics, it keeps on repeating. It's kind of a tape. It goes on in our mind after the session. So if you have any questions, feel free to connect me over LinkedIn, ask me question anytime. And please do share if you try self-reflection, any of this technique, or you come up with a new technique, because I'm very much interested into learning more.
Cool. Well, thanks, Savita, so much. It was very enlightening. And thank you, everybody, for logging in. And some people apparently logged in at 1 in the morning on their Sunday night. So thank you so much. So just a couple more things. Our next meetup in 2 weeks, and we will be hosting Brian Miles, and he will be talking about adaptive leadership. So if you're interested in the topic or you're interested in the meetup, so sign up for our meetup either on meetup.com or go to Tandem Coaching Academy, and all the meetups are listed there. It doesn't really matter where you sign up. We're always happy to see you. And just wanted to close it out with what I started. Thank you, Savita, for this introduction of a tool that coaches can use. If you want to learn more about professional coaching and specifically how professional coaching skills can help agile coaches in their daily life, feel free to go to Tandem Coaching Academy and look at our ACSTH program, and the next cohort starts on October 6th. All right, with that, I will close today's session. Thank you so much, and I will see you in a couple of weeks in the next meetup.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.